Hey, welcome to the 360 Electrician podcast. If this is the first time we're meeting, what's up? My name is Jeff, the 360 Electrician. I run a coaching company and the YouTube channel, The 360 Electrician. Make sure you click the links below if you're watching this on YouTube to get to our main channels. And if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast network, welcome. I hope you subscribe and download. In this episode, just like the title says, we're going to be talking about Electrical Apprentices 101, the 21 irrefutable laws that I think you need to know to be the best electrical apprentice and get into the trade. Are you ready? Are you excited? Well, let's get into law number one. So law number one is something that I need you to understand from the get-go, because remember, I was an electrical apprentice at one time, about 20 years ago as well. This is not a race. Your career is a marathon. What do I mean by that? I want you to start correctly. I want your mind, I want your body, I want your soul to be fully into this for the long haul. If I got into this trade 20 years ago, thinking to myself that I'm going to try to win this race, I bet you I'd be out of it already, because I'd either be bankrupt, broke, or fired by so many companies that I wouldn't be here right now. When I decided to do this, I knew that I was not going to get paid top dollar right out the gate. Not that I don't want you to, but the new generation now, that's you, the 20 to 30-year-olds. You guys want everything right now, and if you don't get it, you're ready to jump ship. I want to tell you a little bit of a story on how I got here and why you got to think of the long haul. I went and applied to the largest service company in Los Angeles, California. When I went there, I was actually 32 years old when I was starting that. I had just sold my other company. I just wanted to get back into the trade so that I can go and do it on my own. When I walked in there, I didn't ask them even how much I was getting paid, because I wanted to learn. I needed the education I knew that company could provide so that I can level up my skills and open up a company, not maybe as big, because that was a huge company, but big enough that it would lead to the lifestyle that I want and the lifestyle I have now. I didn't even ask them how much, because I knew what my skills were going to be worth. I just needed to get my foot in the door. A lot of you guys complain when I say that, and you say, baloney. You are the worst boss. I would never work for you. Look, if you call me up when I'm hiring and the first question you ask me is, how much do you pay? I know that the only thing on your mind is, I'm going to go work for the guy that pays me the most. That's not the type of electrician I want. Go ahead, do it. Be that electrician. I don't care. Why not come get an interview? Let me know what your skills are. Let me know what your other 20 irrefutable laws are that you have, so that I can sit and say, wow, this is the candidate. This is the electrical helper I want on my team. Remember, this is a marathon. I want you to put in applications with 20 different companies. But the way I want you to do it is part of my law system, where you're going to research that company. And when you do that, you are going to find the best company that's going to help you to achieve your end game. Is your end game to be like me, live 1,200 miles away and run a company in California while living in Montana? Maybe. Is your dream to do the electrical, know it enough to teach other people like I do on the business end? What's your end goal? To have a company with 20 trucks, or just to be a one-man show with a helper and be the small-town electrician, which is nothing wrong with that. I respect that, and if that's you, this channel is still for you. So let's get into the other laws. So law number one, this is not a race. This is a long haul. Let's get into law number two. Irrefutable law number two is that you start right now, if you've made a decision that this is going to be your career path, to start to diversify your skills. I know you're saying, Jeff, I don't even know electrical. What do you mean by that? While you're learning electrical, I want you to start thinking about diversifying your skills, so that when you go and you apply and you ask your employer for a job, you have something else you can offer besides, I don't know anything, I just started. I want you, if you have computer skills, IT skills, have you ever terminated low voltage? Have you ever painted a house? Have you ever patched drywall? Have you ever done landscape work? Those are all diversified skills that employers like myself would be looking for, that you need to make sure you highlight. A big mistake that you guys make when you come and apply is, I went to school, I worked at Target, I did this, I did that, have a nice day with dates. No, you want to diversify that. What did you do at Target? Don't say customer skills and be broad, be specific. At Target, I worked the return counter where we encountered lots of upset clients, customers, etc. I was in charge to make them or give them a happy result. You see what I'm saying by that? If you did landscaping work, just don't say, I put in sprinklers for 4 years. No, I was in charge of trenching, making sure that I didn't cut other cables, wires, or conduits. Anything that you can think of that an employer says, wow, this guy's got the skills or the diversified experience is a law you must follow. Irrefutable law number 2, diversify your skills before you get into the trade. Irrefutable law number 3 is when you start to pick which company you're going to apply at. I know it's tough because you're going to say, man, if any of them take me, I'm going to work there. But I want you to start researching the company. Now, this is going to tie into irrefutable law number 4, which is going to be interview well. But before I get into 4, let's talk about the law number 3. That means if you research a company and you realize that it's a company and all they do is run hundreds of miles of pipe, electrical pipe for transformer systems or something, that's not going to be a diversified job that you're going to get a tons of skills. You're only going to learn how to trench and drop pipe for hundreds of miles. You might want to research a company that's very diversified like you should be in the future. Somebody that does solar, that does low voltage, that does gate motors, that does remodel, new construction, high rises, TI, construction, all of that. Why? Because you're going to be the helper on each one of those projects. I get so many guys that have just become electrical contractors that come to me and the only skill they have is commercial. Well, it's hard to survive, especially when the economy turns or 15 years from now when you need to diversify and get into residential work. So you as a helper need to find a company that's diversified so they can teach you diversified skills. That's irrefutable law number 3. Irrefutable law number 4, which I told you kind of ties into irrefutable law number 3. When you do the research on these companies, you're going to interview well. You're going to interview better than the next guy. What do I mean by that? You've already checked out the company. You know the type of work they do. So you are going to get prepared to answer questions that are going to be complementing, the answers are going to be complementing what that company does. If that company does a lot of service work and a lot of solar, what you want to do is brush up and start learning the terminology and what you need to know to do residential service calls and to do solar work. So when you interview, you can let them know that, hey, I'm very interested in residential service and in solar. And therefore, the boss or the person interviewing you is going to say, wow, this candidate seems like it's the better choice. Irrefutable law number 4. Irrefutable law number 5. In number 4 that I said, research the company you're working for. Well, I also want you to research electrical service software. This is the way we're going in 2023 and beyond. Even if you're a 1 or 2 man show electrical contractor, you got to start really seriously looking at field software. So you, as the apprentice getting into the trade, get online and start doing the free trials on field software so that in case the employer you run into uses that software, you have a little bit of back-end knowledge. That brings value. Well, of course, the software I'm going to recommend is Field Pulse. It is the official software of 360 Electric and this channel. We are sponsored by Field Pulse, and they will give you a 15% discount on monthly and a 30% discount on yearly if you use our link below. However, you as an apprentice just need to do the free trials. Irrefutable law number 5 is you better start learning electrical field software. Irrefutable law number 6 is how I got back into the trade way back in 2003, and that is persistence. I had called this employer, and I didn't do any of the irrefutable laws that I taught you up till now, and boy, it hurt when that employer told me straight up, you don't have the skills over the phone to come to work for my company. When I hung up the phone, man, was I depressed. But you know what I did? Perseverance. I went and started to do the irrefutable laws number 3 and number 4. I researched that company. I wanted to work for that company because it was the biggest one in Los Angeles. I knew they were diversified and I was going to learn the most skills working for them. So guess what? I made that other phone call 2 weeks later after I brushed up on some code, knew more of what they did, and my persistence paid off. I got hired on the spot on that first interview. And that is irrefutable law number 6. Can you believe we're at irrefutable law number 7? Number 7 should be the way you live your life. It's professionalism. When you go into those interviews, you don't have to wear a suit and tie. I've said this before on the main YouTube channel. You want to go in dressed kind of like you would dress when you go on the field and get ready to work. You honestly don't have to wear a tie and suit. That's not us. That's not our trade. I would recommend that you wear whatever you would probably wear when you're going to go out to work on the field. Another part of professionalism, when I hire, I ask all of you new apprentices and even electricians and journeymen to bring in your hand tools. So I want you to be professional. Professionalism means being prepared for your interviews, being prepared at all times. Bring a pen and carry it with you everywhere. You're now an electrician. Put a Sharpie in your tool pouch and carry it everywhere. A construction pencil, carry it everywhere. A small notepad, so if you don't know something or you forget something, you have something to write it on quickly. When you go and interview, be professional. Clean shaved, shower, look decent, okay? I don't care about tattoos and stuff like that. It's 2023. But look, if you got Satan written over your forehead, you might want to wear a hat, all right? Professionalism counts because you're going to be going into clients' homes. Me as a boss, as an owner, would look and say, gosh, is this someone that I could trust in someone's home? Is your first appearance something that brings me comfort and ease or puts me on edge and says, man, I better make sure that my wallet's in my pocket? Professionalism, okay? Irrefutable law number 7. Irrefutable law number 8 is time management. Electrical jobs have deadlines at oftentimes. That means you got to show up to work on time. It means you need to be where you need to be on time. Places like Los Angeles have traffic. You have to account for that. When you say you're going to come for your interview at 10:30, come at 9:30. Come an hour early, get in the parking lot, look around, see what they're doing, get some information. Always be early, always manage your time perfectly. Once you become a helper for a journeyman, that's going to be even more important. I can tell you, my guys in my brick and mortar, if you're late 5 minutes, they might just send you home, okay? And I don't blame them. People need to start early, not on time. You're a new generation electrician. Get rid of new habits and go back to old habits. It works for you. You remember, it's not a race, it's the long haul. So be good at time management. Make sure that if you have a smartphone, which I know you do, learn how to tell Siri and Google how to set times, alarms, put multiple alarms. Ask your boss, what time do we start? What time do we finish? What time do we have lunch? So that you can put all of that into your phone. Be there early. Be the first person your boss sees in the conference room, and you're going to be the first one to level up. Irrefutable law number 8 is always manage your time. Irrefutable law number 9 is good communication skills. Now you're going to say, Jeff, no, duh. Wait, I'm going to tie it into our topic, electrical apprentice. You need to know the lingo. You need to know what the electrical parts are called. You need to know when you're pulling wire, how that communication is going to work. How are you going to learn these things? How are you going to learn electrical lingo for communication? YouTube. You're going to start watching a diversified channel listing. You're going to watch people that teach you parts, teach you code, teach you how to do the work, and you're going to start picking up on the lingo so you can level up your communication skills. Now, what I also mean by that is if you're on a job site and you're used to dropping F-bombs, you better start taming the tongue because you never know when the owner or the boss or the person that gave your company is on the job site. Always remember that you're in the public eye. You need to make sure you level up your communication skills and stop dropping those F-bombs. Stop being disrespectful to people. It's 2023, people. I'm not telling you to change who you are, but I'm telling you to better yourself, okay? Communication skills, irrefutable law number 9. Hey, we're almost halfway through our 21 irrefutable laws for being an electrical apprentice. Are you ready for irrefutable law number 10? Number 10 is to make sure you are paying attention to detail. This is not only on the job site, but all around attention. You need to be better than your journeyman. You need to be better than even your boss. There is so much responsibility that's going to be put on you as an electrical helper that you're pretty much the cleanup guy. You are basically the fourth batter to bring those people in. Yeah, your journeyman might do the heavy lifting, but you're the one that ends up cleaning up, right? Detail. You're the one that makes sure the completion list is done. You're the one that makes sure that the breakers are labeled, the job completion forms are filled out. You might be the one that makes sure you do the marketing 5 around, right? Passing out the flyers. You're the one that makes sure that the van is is clean and in good shape. You're the one that needs to make sure the van tires aren't going flat. Those are all paying attention to detail. You want to level up. You want to make sure you get the most money you can just starting out. Pay attention to details. Irrefutable law number 10. Irrefutable law number 11, and one of the most important. You as a helper are just starting out. Everybody has their eyes on you. You have to be safety conscious, okay? You also have to be the safety inspector for your own crew. You can remind your journeyman when he's saw cutting or band sawing or jab sawing anything to wear their safety glasses and maybe their hard hat. Always have it available, know where it is so that you can bring that to them. Be safety conscious. Make sure when you're walking on stuff, the area has been cleaned. You make sure that double check that circuits are not live with your hot stick. Whatever it is that you can learn to be more safety conscious, you need to do it. You also got to make sure that you have your lockout and tag out to make sure that circuits are de-energized when they ask you to work for it. I don't care what your journeyman says. Tag out and lock out everything that you're working on that's live. That's the first thing you need to do to be safety conscious on your job site. Irrefutable law number 11 is to be safety conscious at all times. Irrefutable law number 12, a good electrical apprentice must be capable of problem solving. A lot of times you're going to be left alone from your journeyman or your master to do things on your own. The best thing you can do is be a good problem solver. You need to ask questions if you don't know it or you think you're going to mess something up. But if you've got good problem solving skills, you don't have to run back to your journeyman and master every 5 seconds to ask them, how do you do this? What do I do when I run into this problem? If you've got good skills to solve those problems, it's going to make the job more efficient. Now, I don't want you to fake it. It's the worst thing you can do. If he asks you to run conduit from here to there and you have to penetrate a wall and you don't know what's behind the wall because you've never done it before, you ask those questions. But if it's a new construction build and you know that you're going to run some Romex through some studs and you need to put a Romex plate on there, a protection plate, you know it's a no-brainer, or you feel like, hey, this is pretty close to being susceptible to damage, go ahead and do the things you need to do. Problem solve that. Figure out how you're going to get it fixed so that the electrician doesn't waste time on you on the simple things. I hope you're good at problem solving because it's a big skill that nobody can teach you. It's got to be inherent in you. Irrefutable law number 12 is to be a good problem solver. Irrefutable law number 13, unlucky number 13. Why is this unlucky number 13? Adaptability. You have to be adaptable as an electrical apprentice. That means, yes, guys and girls, sometimes you have to dig the trenches. And then sometimes you got to crawl into that nasty, wet, stinky crawl space to get the Romex nailed up from one side of the house to the other. Yes, itchy addicts, that's you. Are you adaptable? Are you willing to go the extra mile? That is what adaptability is if you're an electrical apprentice. The more adaptable you are, the more the journeyman and master or your boss is going to want to work with you. The more, if you're a multi-team company, the electrician or journeyman is going to specifically request you over the other helper. What do you think that's going to mean when it comes time for pay raises or to level up to be a junior journeyman or anything else you want to do in that company? Adaptability, although it's the unlucky one for you, could be the big winner. Number 13, irrefutable laws to being an electrical apprentice is to be adaptable. Irrefutable law number 14, self-motivation. You got to be self-motivated. You can't sit around and have everybody tell you what to do. A lot of times in my company, I'm on the phone 24/7. So I expect my guys, when I get on the phone, to be self-motivated to do something else. I don't care if it's cleaning. Put something in your hand and start working. Self-motivation is one of the best characters you can have as an employee, and you got to learn it early. If you're on a job site and your journeyman gets busy talking to the client or has to go up somewhere where you can't reach, go out to the van or the truck and start cleaning. Start collecting the parts. Do what you need to be self-motivated. Start getting your paperwork ready. Start labeling the panel. Whatever it is, be a self-motivator. When I walk into a room and I see 3 of my helpers sitting around, those 3 are the first ones on the cutting block because that 4th one that's actually doing something is the one that's in it for the long haul, right? The 3 other ones are texting, wasting time. Don't do it. Be a self-motivator. Irrefutable law number 14. Irrefutable law number 15, my favorite, electrical apprentices and those that are about to become one. law number 15, going to be one of the most important ones. And I guarantee you, if I did a survey, the number one answer for journeymans and masters is you have to have the ability to predict what the next move is for that person that you are assisting. If you're running 100 feet of conduit and they're 10-foot sticks and you see that he's almost done hanging that one, you better have another stick of EMT conduit or whatever conduit is ready to hand to him. You got to get the screws ready and the straps ready to go. You got to predict his future. You do that and you will level up faster than any other helper in your company. So get good at predicting what comes next, and you will level up as fast as possible. Irrefutable law number 15. Irrefutable law number 16. Patience and self-control. Now, when I told you number 15, you're supposed to predict the future and know what your electrician, your journeyman or master needs, sometimes you get it wrong, and you get it wrong in a big way. Job sites can get stressful. We're carrying hammers. By hammers, I mean Klein linemans in our hands, right? Klein linemans are only used to hammer Romex nails and staples, not to hit your fellow journeyman electrician. So you gotta have self-control. It's super important. Be the guy that's humbled, take a step back and a breather and keep everybody calm, and be the peacemaker. Your boss, your client, and everybody else is gonna see that. They're gonna appreciate it. They're gonna want you on their job site versus the guy that just has a bad attitude. Irrefutable law number 16. Moving along, irrefutable law number 17 is plain and simply be creative. What do I mean by that? When you get to the job site and there is just a way to do things a little bit differently, a little bit more efficiently, be creative. What's another way to be creative? You go to these job sites and you realize that they don't have a job completion form, or maybe on their job completion form, they don't have certain things that they should. Be creative, bring it up to your boss, win brownie points. Be creative in the way that you're going to do the work. Just because it shows it one way, or even just because your master or journeyman told you to do it this way, don't be afraid to be creative and pipe up and say, hey, journeyman or master, can I ask you a quick question? Why can't we do it this way? Or is it possible that we do it that way? Because you came up with a better idea. Irrefutable law number 17, if you're going to be a great electrical helper and apprentice, is to be creative. Irrefutable law number 18 follows right along with law 17 of being creative, and that is your observance skills. You gotta observe what's going on, and you got to better yourself by it. How is one example you can do that? When I'm on a job site and a plumber or another tradesperson needs help, it won't mean that you're going to break your back, but any way that you can assist them and observing that they need help will always come back to you tenfold. What do I mean by that? A lot of times plumbers put their pipes right in the middle of where you're going to hang a fixture box. Well, if you got a good relationship with that plumber because you observed that they needed some help and you did it, he's more than willing to move that pipe a few inches over or not put it there in the first place. Another observation could be when clients come to the job. Let's just assume that you're doing a custom home and you know that every Thursday at 12 o'clock, that client comes to the job. You can let everybody know on the job site, especially your team, hey guys, it's almost 12 o'clock. The client's going to be here. Let's clean up. Let's look a little bit more professional. Big ways to level up. Your boss is going to appreciate it, and it's one way you could be the best possible electrical apprentice in the industry. We're at irrefutable law number 19. Hey, I hope you're still with me in this podcast and in this video. If you are, have you hit the like and subscribe button? I hope you sure have, because irrefutable law number 19 is to be willing to continue to learn. And what are you going to learn? We talked about learning in the beginning and diversifying. Now that you're with this company and you've been there for a little while, you need to be willing to learn what the needs are so that you could fulfill them. If you do, you are putting yourself in that puzzle into a nice position to stay there the longest and to help you level up and make more money. Does that make sense to you? If you've been working with me for 3 years and you realize finally that there is a need because you've learned that, hey, Jeff doesn't do a good job of A, B, and C, and you learn how to solve A, B, and C, you are a continual learner and you're going to help this company grow, which means you're going to be a part of it for a long, long time. Irrefutable law number 19, continue to be a learner in the company you're at to help them level up. Well, I can't believe it. We're around the corner at irrefutable law number 20. I am so proud of you for making it to irrefutable law number 20. My goal has always been to help you level up to become an electrical contractor, and if you are an electrical contractor, to level up your business. But in this video, I planted the seed for you electrical helpers and apprentices so that you can grow and eventually fulfill your dreams of where your career wants to go in the electrical trade. My two last most important tips are the two most important irrefutable laws. Number 20 is to be the advertising monster of the company you're at. You need to be its biggest cheerleader. You need to always have business cards, flyers, anything possible that you can give out and pass out that has something that you can write your name on it, or a code or something that you can go to your boss and say, hey boss, I would love to just recommend our company to everybody. Would you give me a little piece of commission or the action or something if I bring new clients in? If you do that, you are the apple of their eye. Irrefutable law number 20 is to be the marketer so that your boss doesn't have to pay a marketer. That means that you will be worth so much to your boss and your company that you should be able to level up faster than anybody else. Hey, it happened to me. Within 3 months, I became my old company's top salesman within 3 months, making well over $100,000 back in 2003. You can do it as well. Are you ready for irrefutable law number 21? Let's go. Irrefutable law 21, and the most important, if you've been following all these laws and you can apply them, is do not be afraid to ask for more money. Do not be afraid to ask for what you're worth. You have done all the steps, and now you have come to the irrefutable law of 21, and that is to get paid what you're worth. Remember in the very beginning of this video, I told you that I wouldn't even hire you if you asked me how much pay is. Well, now I know you. You've been following these laws. You've been following these rules. You sit down with your boss and you tell him everything that you've done, and you tell them what you think you're worth and ask him for that raise so that you can continue to grow and eventually become that journeyman, that master, and the electrical contractor of your dreams. Thank you so much for staying tuned to this podcast and this YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe and join the email list at www.the360electrician.com. Don't be afraid to take coaching. Coaching prices are going up in April, so please click that link below and sign up, and we will see you on the next one.